to Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle from the morning show on 91X, Marty and Danielle in the morning. As always, I have my beer drinking partner in crime with me, Paul Segura, brewmaster of Karl Strauss. Welcome to 2021, my friend.
Aloha. Welcome. I mean, this is awesome. Great to start off a new year with you, and Happy New Year to everybody out there and to our guests on the street.
It is a new year, and a big trend is dry January. A lot of people decide to use January as a month to completely dry out, go alcohol-free, and I thought that the perfect way to start out 2021 dry January would be with Athletic Brewing Company. This is non-alcoholic craft beer. Welcome, Ryan, master of puppets from Southern California, on Athletic Brewing, and we also have Bill, co-founder of Athletic Brewing. Welcome, guys. Cheers.
Hey, thank you so much for having us on.
Cheers.
So excited to meet you guys.
So, full disclosure, this is my first non-alcoholic beer that I have ever tried in my life. I've never tried a non-alc, so I'm stoked on this.
Wow, really? I thought we've had some together.
We have had no.
I mean, we had.
No. What,
okay.
no duel? No non-alc together.
We had lots of beers together. But like just because people like don't drink alcohol during January doesn't mean they have to stop drinking altogether, right?
Mm.
And you can still drink beer that tastes like beer, non-alc beer that still tastes like beer. I popped this can and I'm smelling the hops coming off of it like right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really nice amount of pleasant hoppiness coming off of this.
Bill, run wild. What style is this?
It's our West Coast IPA. It's like a super approachable IPA. So if people are, wherever they are on their craft beer journey, it's supposed to pair really well with a wide range of food, be super approachable, not scare anyone off of the craft beer scene. So,
like, legitimately, this tastes like an IPA.
I had no idea.
This is extremely hard to do. I've had non-alc beers. I mean, Two Roots and a number of others. Straight up, this is probably the best I've had.
Thank you so much.
No,
it's totally a testament to our brewing team. They're incredible. John, our co-founder, and then all our team in San Diego are awesome. So professional and so talented.
So, I mean, give me the story behind Athletic Brewing. I know that I heard about you for the first time maybe about a year or so ago from Tucker. Good friend of ours, and and he's like, non-alcoholic craft brewery, and I was like, tell me more. So tell me more, Bill.
That's the least shocking thing I've ever heard. I think every single person I've met in San Diego knows who Tucker is. But yeah, it's so, like, as ironic as it sounds, like, my lifestyle led me right into craft beer, or into non-alcoholic beer. I was a huge craft beer guy, huge foodie, but kind of like Paul was saying, like, craft beer is incredible and has covered such great breadth of the alcohol occasions. And we're not trying to take anything away from, like, we're not prohibitionists, we're not on like a sober soapbox, and we're not trying to cannibalize any occasions. But there are so many other times of the day or nights of the week where you'd love a beer just to be able to mix in, like, before you like either get back to work, if you have to drive a car and you only like, maybe you could mix in between rounds, or if you're like spending time with your kids or something. So there's so many occasions where you'd love another beer, but you just don't want the incremental alcohol. And so we really want to add occasions and hopefully add a ton of people back to the beer world too, where it's something like 42% of adults are like avid beer drinkers. That's 60% of people basically that we're missing. And like, we could include into this awesome community and really grow it. So it's kind of what we're all about. And that's like how we arrived at it, was all these times where I wanted a beer, but I didn't necessarily want the alcohol. If I had like an early morning workout and I only wanted one alcoholic drink or something, and so as funny as it sounds, like I went down that rabbit hole. Next thing I knew, I was downloading the Siebel Brewing curriculum, and I was like redlining textbooks on the weekend. And then 2 years in, my wife was like, "You got to quit your job and do this." And so, I mean, it was kind of a crazy journey. And thank goodness for our co-founder John, who is like definitely our more talented half. But yeah, it's been a wild ride so far.
What I love about this story is it's not crazy because I think the same thing. I think so many times I'm like, oh, I just want one more, but I've got to life, or I have to thrive, or if I continue to drink, bad decisions are going to happen. But I still want something that tastes really good. And from what I know from people in my life who are non-alcoholic beer drinkers, is that the options are very, very minimal, and they're just really not that good.
Yeah, it was like being handed the kids menu going out to dinner. Like if you don't drink, it like can absolutely ruin a meal. Until now, like when there are better options. But like it's amazing. Like beer actually has so many fewer blind spots than wine and spirits and everything. It was like the perfect meal pair for such a wide range of food. But if you don't want the alcohol, menus are just like super bleak.
I love how this whole conversation is going so far. I have a family member who had problems with alcohol and still very much enjoys the flavor of beer, but has to not have alcohol. And you guys hit the nail on the head when you said the options out there are few, right? You've got the old school like the Buckler and those other things, but this by far has like so much more flavor and is representative of IPA. I mean, I taste this, and if I didn't know it didn't have alcohol, I would assume it had alcohol in it. It's a legit IPA.
Oh my God, this could be the funnest experiment ever when things get normal again. Oh my gosh, here we go.
My head was in the same spot.
And you don't put any labels. You don't say who you are or anything, and you just hand it out, and then you see if people start acting a fool. Because oh my gosh, that would be the most amazing placebo ever.
And that's where I step in, which is every time I do an event, I'm just looking around all the time, like, what's going on? Who's
So do you see it, Ryan, as you go out to events and stuff? Do you see the psychological of I'm drinking beer, so I'm acting silly?
I actually, what I see is what I saw in what Paul did, where it's just that you're completely shocked and you don't you're just trying to figure it out. Like I'm watching somebody process it for the first time. And then not only that, you hear so many of these great stories, like you're saying too. So they're going from, not only do I love craft beer, but also, and they're just sharing these life experiences with you. And it's like, wow, like we're best friends in 2 minutes over sharing this beer, which is what I love about craft beer in general. So it's just like, we're all inclusive in the story, and it's incredible. Day in and day out, I see that. And it's really heartwarming, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. So I want to get into the next beer before we continue the conversation, but here's a little funny. Paul has one beer and I have another beer. So, Paul, let's start with your beer, and then we'll go into the one that I have.
Okay. I'm not sure how this happened where we ended up with different beers, but I'm going to roll with this. I've got a golden ale called Upside Dawn. Very clever name there. And the packaging is really nice looking, by the way. And by the way, welcome to San Diego, guys.
Thank you so much. It's such an incredible beer community.
The cans themselves say made in San Diego, and that's legit. You guys got a facility here, and it's locally brewed. So congrats on that. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you. It means a lot coming from you guys.
I may be stepping out of my bounds on this by asking this question, and I'm sorry if I am. And Paul, maybe you know the answer to this. Are you guys are you eligible to be part of the San Diego Brewers Guild?
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're a member. We were I was actually on their live stream last week, and we're doing a beer collab. If we're not already, we applied. I'm 99% sure we are, and we're in the Brewers Association also.
High five for all of us being part of the guild. All right, sorry for interrupting, Paul. Keep going.
No, that's okay. I was listening, and I was also drinking. And once again, I am not disappointed. This is a nice, bready, slightly toasty, biscuity golden ale. It's delicious.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going for with that beer. It's meant to be super crisp, refreshing, guilt-free. It's 50 calories, crafted to remove gluten. And so that's like it's like our guilt-free hoppy pilsner, basically. So like a great weeknight beer, free calories, half the calories of like a Mick Ultra. So
that's the other thing we haven't really talked about yet. There's also a trend for people wanting low-cal stuff, especially when it comes to seltzers and all the other options that are out there. This one's at 50 calories, and I think the IPA was like 70. Yeah, 70.
Both of the ones I have 70, maybe a stupid question. I don't know. Do all the calories come from the alcohol?
A lot of them do.
Yeah.
In these, so all of our calories are from organic grains. So it's got a good amount of body in there. Without the alcohol calories.
Well, yeah. I guess damn you, trainer, saying that alcohol are empty calories. So the beer that I have is the Free Wave Double Hopped IPA. What is the story on this guy?
Brian, you want to take that way?
I mean, this is actually was originally a pilot beer. So we have now with the opening of the brewery out in San Diego, we have both a pilot brewery out in Connecticut and well as one in San Diego. So we allow for a lot of people to try different things. And I know that Bill was working with John because they wanted to release something like this. And I couldn't tell you this story other than the way he would tell it, but there was a lot of back and forth between this beer. And really it was just, to come out with a hazy IPA. And I legitimately, when I first tried this, I freaked out. I was like, I cannot believe, like, this is that beer where you drink it and you're like, this really does have alcohol in it. It has to. It absolutely has to. There's no way. And the internet went crazy over this beer. We were releasing it and we were causing more frustration because it was selling out so fast. People were having FOMO on this beer. They were freaking out over the internet. So long story short, we ended up giving the people what we wanted. And for 2021, we are releasing this beer, which is our double hopped IPA. So it's phenomenal. It's probably one of the top three of all the beers that we make.
So we've had a double hopped IPA and we've had a blonde. So again, this is all new territory for me. 3 totally different styles. What is the total of styles that you guys have?
So we actually released over 30 beers last year. So we do as Ryan said, we have a 3.5 barrel pilot in Connecticut and a 7 barrel pilot up on Trade Street here. And our brewing team just churns out fun stuff on those. We do like a summer fruit stand series with fruited gozes, like blackberry Berliner Weisses, raspberry sours, and all sorts of different stuff. We have a single hop IPA series that I think we're about 8 or 10 different IPAs into. We have a cold brew coffee stout, a coffee porter, and some really fun stuff coming up this year too. A couple of secrets I almost just dropped also.
By all means.
I've kind of got a technical question, and I hope this doesn't put you in a weird situation. If it's proprietary, you don't need to answer it or whatever. But I've had some non-alc beer, and I don't get the same level of fresh hoppiness that I get with your beer here. And I'm thinking maybe all the dry hopping and everything is done before the alcohol is spun out. and that maybe you guys are actually spinning and then dry hopping or something. You guys are doing something different here, because I'm just getting a lot of really fresh, hop flavor. This is amazing.
Yeah, and it's totally a testament to John. I mean, I took all this research I'd done and was like, "What do you think of this? Like, am I crazy?" Like, and he got back to me like 2 days later and was like, "I actually think this might work." And so rather than like using the existing technologies, we had all this research. We rented out a 10,000 square foot warehouse, and I had bought this pilot system. And John was like, just leave that wrapped up in the corner for a while. He's like, we're going way smaller than that. And we brewed on Gatorade jugs for like about a year in 2016, 2017. Just like changing a couple degrees at a time, changing temperature, time, and pH in different tanks. And essentially came up to a brewing process where it's 12 to 15 changes, not just like one de-alc machine. And it's subtle changes over the life of a beer, essentially brewing super sessionable beer that finishes below 0.5%. So it's not like a single magic bullet. There's a lot of moving parts on it. And it's totally a testament to John approaching it like strictly in the scientific method, where I was like, I think this avenue will work. And he's like, okay, but we're going to start over here and we're going to change 2 degrees every time. And I was like, but that's like 28 days. And he was like, exactly. So,
my mind is blown right now. My mind is blown. I am so incredibly amazed by what you were doing. As Paul had said earlier, I would never guess that there wasn't alcohol in these beers as an avid beer drinker. So you guys are definitely doing something super amazing. Paul, what are your final thoughts?
Well, I'll close with this thought. I worked for a German brewmaster for many years. His name was Carl, and he used to tell me that back in those days, this was over 20 years ago, that beer is a social beverage, and you should be able to enjoy several of them in a social setting and still have like your mental faculties and be able to make conversation and not get like plastered or faded. And there's a time and a place. There's so many different times and places and instances where I would absolutely want to enjoy the flavor of a beer, but not necessarily the alcohol. And this meets that need. This fills that that need to be able to want to enjoy the flavor of a great beer and not have and still have whatever mental faculties you had prior to that setting.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so going into the rotation.
Thank you guys so much. I mean, that means so much coming from you guys, and it's like that kind of acceptance and like welcoming from this community is something we set out to do a few years ago, and we're so excited to be a part of it. And we love just adding that complimentary angle to this great beer scene you guys have helped build up over so many years. So thank you so much.
You guys are doing amazing things. Before we part ways, Ryan, as the SoCal Master of Puppets, where can we find Athletic beer?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much everywhere at this point. All your top bottle shops, Vons, Ralph's, Bevmo. We have actually, you can check our website. We have a map tracker. So you can put in your zip code and it'll show you, however far of a radius you want to set where the beer's at. And then obviously we always tell people to call ahead because we're getting so much pull through on our beer where, it's a hot commodity, but just give a call ahead to the account and let them know you're coming.
Other just kind of random question is the facility in San Diego, is that available for beer pickup to go? Is there a tasting room attached or anything?
Not yet. We're going to have a bunch of events where like workouts end in the parking lot or music type stuff in the parking lot. And we'd love to do stuff with other breweries in the area, like have alcoholic and non-alcoholic, and but no tap room yet, unfortunately.
Okay. Hey, we look forward to everything 2021 has to bring from Athletic Brewing Company. I'm so happy that we're family now, guys. Sorry, you're part of the Beer for Breakfast family, and you can't get rid of us now. So just so you know, we expect Christmas cards next year. Just
Awesome. Our warehouse store is always open.
Bill and Ryan from Athletic Brewing Company, thank you so much for joining Paul and I for Beer for Breakfast ABV. This Friday morning, we are right back at it. Beer for Breakfast on the radio on 91X, 9:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Myself, morning show co-host Marty, we will be drinking some Athletic Brewing non-alcoholic beer. Paul will be joining us. Please enjoy your 2021. Join us for Beer for Breakfast. And hey, let's do it the way we always do it. Cheers to independently owned craft beer and radio in San Diego.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
91X.